Hey, what up, guys? Good morning. Hoarcrux here. So, I'm gonna be talking about the state of things in PvP. As of right now, I played pretty extensively into the Gray Moon patch, Gray Mire, whatever the fuck it's called, guys. Shit. But um, saltiness, bitterness are just a couple of the words that come to mind when I've been playing. I'm trying to keep this as friendly as possible, but the amount of toxicity in this game right now, especially dueling and BGs, is terrible. The amount of proc sets in this game are terrible. The amount of damage that they do are terrible. The people that run 2 or 3 proc sets are terrible and toxic. Um, I spent probably 12 hours dueling yesterday. I don't know how it is on Xbox right now because it's been a while since I played on PC. Everyone's running poisons. Everyone's 2 or 3 proc sets, and then when they kill you, they're obviously better than you because you're not running proc sets. They're obviously more skilled than you. That they just survive until their proc sets go off. That's the way ESO is right now. Unfortunately, I love this game. I love PvP, but dueling's my favorite thing to do in this game, and I'm taking a break from it. It's just too unskill based, and people are just surviving until their shit goes off, and then shit talking you afterwards. How you're trash, whatever. I get over the shit talking, but when you look at your recap and you see 2 or 3, well, you see 1 or 2 proc sets going off, for amounting to 2/3 of your health. It's not a good feeling, fellas. Um, the introduction of the Malacanth ring has enabled heavy armor builds to not only be super tanky, but now they can burst you, just like they're in medium or light armor class. Just because it's amping the proc sets, and that's what everyone's running. I mean, if you don't, you're just fucked. I spent 12 hours yesterday not running proc sets, and I'm getting packed up, but people I know I should be clapping, and I'm just not because proc sets like there's no disadvantage. They offer way too much DPS increase. There's no disadvantage during the sets. Um, a lot of people are running heavy dots. It's just a lot of pressure, and you just let your proc sets finish the job. As a magic enthusiast, magic DK, mag sort, it sucks. It sucks if you don't have super high mobility in the game to get out of situations. Like you're just fucked. Um, that's for dueling. Went into BGs, same shit. Fang Rush in there, same shit. Ran into him twice. BGs, spin to win. Stam Sword, he does what he does. Pop and move pods, go in, blow your proc set load, get out. There's nothing you can do. There's no counterplay. So it's a no to BGs. BGs are still solo queue only, which is absolutely retarded because their whole premise last expansion was, hey, we need to reset the skill counter. We need to figure out people's true skill. And what do they do with that? I go into BGs and it's like people like 2 CP. It's not skill based. It's still random as it ever been. And now you can't even play with your friends. That was one of the few things that I kind of liked about BGs was that you go in, test some builds with a friend, instant action, and there you go. You can see if it, rises or falls. It's a good build or bad build. And now you can't really do that unless you go in a duels to try out a build. Well, guess what? You're gonna get proc setted on, so your build's not gonna work there. So let's go into open world and try it. Well, guess what? You're gonna get proc setted on. There's the skill cap has been lowered so much. I mean, I get it from a marketing standpoint. Why also do that? But for your 6-year veterans, as I am, it's just a super salty feeling. When this game first came out, when they're still back in the V12, V14, V16 days, and most of you guys don't even know what the fuck that is. It was the best time I've ever had in any MMO. You felt super powerful, fellas. You spend like a month farming the assault skill line to get your proxy detonation and your inevitable detonation, which you can get in like 2 hours now. But back then, these 2 spells are absolutely game changing. Um, You can literally, I'm not sure if I still have the clips from like 6 years ago, but you can literally go into the resource towers and 1v30, 1v40 people all day, every day. And you felt so powerful. It was such a good feeling. It was such a fun time. Um, Fast forward patches, they keep nerfing solo play. They keep nerfing solo play. They keep nerfing solo play. Every single expansion, solo play is less and less and less and less relevant. And now solo play, they took the approach that yeah, healing's overperforming. But what they did a blanket nerf, a lazy ass fucking blanket nerf to healing. The issue is these Zergs accidentally healing all their little Zerglings up to full. There's no skill in healing. There's no skill in tanking. There's no skill in DPS anymore. It's just proc sets. This has been the only MMO I've ever played where the holy trinity of tank, DPS, healer is just irrelevant. In World of Warcraft, you respect your tanks, you respect your healers, because that's a hard-ass job. A healer probably has the hardest job in the game. And now it just seems like everyone's too tanky. Everyone's healing too well. Even the 20% nerf, it doesn't matter. You have heals bouncing off of each other in 2-3 man groups. It shouldn't be like that. Smart healing's stupid. That mechanic, you should have to, target your allies and heal them. It's really hard to target them, and it should make healing more rewarding that way. I'm like, hey, you hit your kind of skill shot heals instead of you hit one button, everyone's kind of up to full bullshit. It's that's only what I'm mad about, fellas. It's the proc sets. It's There's so many of them, and they're so easy to proc, and they do so much damage just randomly out of nowhere. You can't play your class. Every class feels the same. When you go into a fight, a duel, the first thing I'm thinking is, okay, what proc sets do they have? What do I need to watch out for? And it shouldn't be like that. When you're up against a class, your class knowledge should be what carries you through that fight. That's how you should win that duel. Is hey, I'm playing Magic Sorcerer against Mag DK. It would be advantageous if I stay the fuck away from the Mag DK. It doesn't matter. They're running Calorian Scoria. They're running a Grothgar, it doesn't matter. That's the least toxic example I can give you. That's the least toxic. That one's tolerable. You can deal with it, whatever. But what happens when you play against a heavy armor stamina class that has 35k health, and they have these dots that are ticking for like 1k on you a second, and you cannot run them, you cannot streak them. They gap close and they run faster, and you can streak on a sorcerer. I'll give you an example, which would probably be the best case scenario of getting out of this. It doesn't matter. They're going to catch up with you. They're going to slow you indefinitely. Every class in this fucking game has a slow. Retarded. Yeah, you can run the new mythic boots, but you can't sprint. It's kind of dumb. But what I'm saying is their damage is just coming from just passive bullshit. It required no skill to do, and then the proc sets to finish you with like an ult. It's not how this game should be. ZOS is working on their premises. Like for example, the frags used to stun. They took that out because they felt that no ability should have a high damage and stun capability. So go to Magda and Beetles, took out the stun. They used to be what you had to kind of play around with the mag sword, like hey, dodge is frag and you're fine. As a class mechanic, it was good, it was fun, it was skill based. Now it's just it doesn't matter. There's a sorcerer, they eat all my frags, they eat my curses, they eat my weaves. I'm pushing mad ass damage, and it doesn't matter. Everyone's in heavy armor, and the proc sets just apply so much counter pressure. There's nothing you can do. Dueling the past few days has been the worst experience of my life. It's awful. Toxicity is terrible. Everyone's better than you because their proc sets proc more often or go off in alignment. So, guys, don't be a part of the problem, please. Like I know it sucks, But go dig on some kids, without a proc set. Show them that, there's actually skill left in ESO. I mean, as of right now, there's not. Um, I was one of the best duels on Xbox, and now, on PC. I'm sure it's going to be the same on Xbox here in a couple weeks when everyone gets their hands on the Malacantha ring. It's just kind of a very bad feeling for solo players right now. Group play, yeah, whatever. But if you're a solo player like me, like, the game's just getting worse and worse. There's better alternatives. Just kind of leave it at that for now. Let it sink in. A 6-year vet. DOS has good things going for him. The PvE is not too bad. It's just when it comes to the PvP, they're developers. They don't play the game. They don't. And they listen to all the crybabies on the forums about stupid shit that doesn't even matter. If you want to fix this game, you have to take the RNG out of it. These proc sets have got to go. They got to be blanket nerfed. Something's got to be done. Otherwise, this game is just going to get worse and worse and worse. And let's not even talk about this entire expansion had 0 class balances. 0, besides the Nightblade. 0. That's unheard of in any game I've ever played ever. That ZOS thinks their game is so perfect, their classes are so balanced, that they don't need to change a damn thing. What they've done is made every class feel the same. There's no class identity in ESO. There's just not. There's not one class I play and I'm like, hey, you know what? This is the theme of that class. This feels nice. There's not. Mag DK being the one exception. You can put on Elfbane and run a Destro ulti, and that shit lasts for like 12 seconds. That's pretty fun. You can burn bitches down on DK, but every other class, especially Stam classes, they all feel the same. They do the exact same shit. They run the exact same shit. It's just... if the developers keep ESO on the path that's going, it's just going to be unplayable. They're going to have to step up and actually listen to the community a little bit and just do something balancing. I'll give you guys one more example before I kind of leave off this. Your base damage in the game, just your intrinsic, with no sets, being max level 810 CP, most of your damage is from there. I would say about 70% of your entire damage is just intrinsically on you for being max 10 CP. You can get the other 30% worth of damage by running sets. It should not be like that. It should not be like that at all. Point being, people run all these proc sets. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And they want to run proc sets and be brain dead, AFK, whatever. That's fine. But you should not do shit for damage other than those proc sets. Yeah, sure, run them, but your base damage should be so low it should counteract that. And right now your base damage is just so high, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I can put on 3 defensive sets. I can put on Armor Master, fucking Lich, and Engine Guardian, and still one-tap people in Cyrodiil. Like, what the fuck? It doesn't make any sense to me. So, if you want to nerf the proc set ZOS, I doubt you guys even listen to my small-ass channel, but if anyone watches this and you have any connection with ZOS whatsoever, it's not hard. Just nerf the overall base damage that your characters get. Make the sets more important. If you want to run a proc set, cool, but the proc set is going to take the place of a damage set. It just should be a big deal. Right now, it's not. Okay? Say, for example, let's do Calorian's Legacy, okay? Crit spell power and big ass fucking proc. Compare that to one of the high damage sets. Let's do New Moon Acolyte. Your spell pin, I think like 680 spell damage. So compare that to Calorians, they have 129 spell damage. So we'll say you get about 550 more spell damage from running New Moon Acolyte than you do at Calorians. That 550 spell damage is like 5% maybe 4% of your overall damage. 4%. And then Calorians, look at that. The proc's going to hit you for like fucking tooltips for like 12, 13, 14k. I don't know. It's going to hit you for 6 or 7k consistently. That's dumb. Of course you're going to go with Calorians. Yeah, it's easy to block and roll dodge, whatever. Someone knows what they're doing, that's fine. But what about the other two procs that you're running? You can't possibly keep track of all that. Eventually, you're going to get digged down by RNG. This is the way it is. So my suggestion to balance is just reduce everyone's base damage. It makes sense more relevant. More impactful. Like a damage set actually increases your damage. But let's say bring spell weaves probably give you overall 10% damage increase with everything procced. Make that set like 35% more, but lower your base damage. Instead of doing 70% of your damage at full, just lower it to like, hey, 25% of your base damage is just being A10 CP. Good for you. Good job. The rest of your damage is going to rely on your sets. And I just think that's the approach that they should have. Because they're obviously not going to balance proc sets. Proc sets are always going to be stupid. No one likes dying to RNG. No one. It's the worst feeling ever. Have a 5-10 minute duel and you just die because of bullshit. It's bad feelings, honest. It's not good for the game. It's not good for the community. It's giving people false impressions they're good. It's giving people false impressions as they're bad. And everyone's toxic about it all the time, why they died. Just because there's so much shit to point out in your game. So just lower everyone's base damage and survivability and base healing. Make sets that actually do those things better. Proc sets, cool. Leave them alone. But make sure your defensive sets and your offensive sets are greatly bolstered. And even your recov sets, whatever, are moving the base damage in the game. It's just my suggestion on how to fix it. Shouldn't be too hard. I mean, it's more or less a scaling. I mean, fuck. I mean, I'm no programmer, but I'm pretty sure I could scale the base damage down. Instead of, for example, I have 30k max match, I do X amount of damage. Okay, if I have 30k max match, I do X amount of damage. There you go. That's it. But I'm gonna leave my rant there, fellas. If you guys have any other comments, leave them. Leave them. I want this to be kind of a discussion. Am I retarded? Am I just being a little salt monster? Let me know in the comments. I fear the more people that's going to talk about the state of PvP right now, the better. Maybe the devs will actually listen instead of working on their account store content. But I'll leave it there. You guys have a good day. Peace.